I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me.
I'm going to go through the 5 best smartphones released so far in 2019. Not just the 5 best, actually we've got 5 different categories. So we have the best gaming phone, the best camera phone, the best budget phone, the best overall value phone, bang for your buck, value for money, and then the most underrated phone. So the first category, best for gaming. And I've picked the OnePlus 7 Pro. I was lucky enough to go up to Beijing to see the China mainland launch of the OnePlus 7 Pro. Now, 2019 has been a really important year for the OnePlus brand. They've gone from that flagship killer into essentially a flagship phone. And the prices also increased to boot. If you are going to increase the price, then you're going to have to give a pretty spectacular phone. And OnePlus 7 have done that in the OnePlus 7 Pro. Reviews are one thing, but when I was using the phone myself and I did want to play games, I always gravitated towards that phone, and that tells you something. And again, I know in reviews people go on about the 90Hz screen and how good it is, but it isn't just that, it's the whole phone. It's the size of the screen, the quality of the colors, and just the quality of the look of the screen. You can change from HD to Quad HD, and even when you play games without the 90Hz refresh rate screen on, it's still a great experience. You get stereo speakers with the phone, which is so important when you're gaming. It gives you a much better experience overall. Not to mention, as soon as you finish gaming, you can turn down the screen resolution, turn down that 90Hz display, and get great battery life out of that phone too. Also great for gaming is the haptics on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Much improved. Not quite as good as the iPhone's haptics, but they are almost there. Overall, that creates a much better gaming experience. The amazing screen, the stereo speakers, and the haptics make this one of the best gaming phones, in my opinion. And I just really like that phone in general, just as a mobile phone. It's just really great in most areas. Second category, camera phones. What is the best camera phone released so far this year? Got to go with the P30 Pro. So I'm not a huge fan of the screen on the P30 Pro. I personally prefer flat screens to curved screens. I can get used to them though, but the P30 Pro screen is decent, but you can't say that about the camera. It is literally the best camera phone I've ever seen for stills photos anyway. For video, any Android phone that I use just cannot come close to the iPhone. But for stills photos, that phone is just crazy. It looks like you've taken the photo with a DSLR camera, and especially from that 5x optical zoom lens, it gives you unbelievable looking shots that I have not seen on any other smartphone. The quality of it is incredible. The night mode is just out of this world. The ease of use of the camera app as well. Huawei have obviously spent a lot of time on that. It's so easy to flick through the zooms. You get an ultra wide camera as well. Also the pro modes on the P30 Pro, and even in normal mode, just automatic mode, you get these focus points that appear on the screen, which is the same sort of thing as you get on really expensive mirrorless and DSLR cameras. Again, like the OnePlus 7 Pro, whenever I've wanted to go for the best photos, I've picked up that phone. Not just reviewing it, not just comparing it to other phones, but if I want to go and take some stills, I will use that phone. The phone does have a mono speaker at the bottom there, which is definitely a drawback of the phone. And like I said, the screen isn't amazing, at least to my eyes. So that's some drawbacks of the phone, but by far and away, that takes some of the best stills images out of any smartphone available. Best budget phone. Where do you cut off budget from mid-range? You can choose really low price phones. I've gone for somewhere in the middle, a phone that costs about 1400 RMB in China anyway. Not sure about the worldwide prices, but I've gone for the Realme X. I never knew you could get so many features in a budget phone. You get an OLED screen, which looks great, and an under-screen fingerprint sensor, a bezel-less phone because you have a pop-up selfie camera, and you also get a 48 megapixel main camera at the back. Battery life is also really good on the phone. When I reviewed the phone, I was really surprised that all in all, this phone just worked like pretty much any other phone that I used, but was way cheaper. When you compared that phone to the competition at that price range, it becomes obvious that Realme gave us a really great phone for the price. It uses a Snapdragon 710, which, whilst not being the best mid-range processor, keeps the price down. And anyway, being part of that 700 series means we get pretty much all of the features that we want out of the phone. It's not the most powerful, but it's very capable in doing pretty much anything that you'll throw at it. A really great device overall. Nothing stands out, but the specs that you get for the price means it is one of the best budget phones that I've seen so far in 2019. Best overall value phone, without a shadow of a doubt, it has to be the K20 Pro. Bang for your buck, value for money. Look at the specs, look at the price. You can't choose any other phone. You get a Snapdragon 855, that's the flagship processor. You get an OLED screen, which is very high quality and large. You get a huge battery, 4,000 milliamp hours. Completely bezel-less display because of the pop-up camera. Then you move to the back camera. You get an ultra wide and a 2x zoom camera. And you get the Sony IMX586 under that main unit, which is used in much more expensive phones than this. And you keep the headphone jack, all for 2,500 RMB. Unbelievable value. Using the phone side by side with any other phone, it will compare very well to them. You get better camera phones, you maybe get phones with better screens, but as an overall package, buying this phone with the latest processor and a camera with loads of features and functions, all for that very low price, great phone. Most underrated phone so far this year. I could choose a couple of phones, but I went for the Oppo Reno 10x zoom edition. In terms of zoom cameras, the P30 Pro takes all the plaudits. It's the camera phone, it's the big flagship model from Huawei. With gaming phones, you have the OnePlus 7 Pro with its standout screen, but this phone offers so much and is a really good price too. You also get that zoom camera in there. It's not quite as good as the P30 Pros when it comes to video. You can't use any zoom in video and you can't use the ultra wide camera in video either. That's its main Achilles heel. But when it comes to battery life, I tested it in a big battery test and it won. You get a completely bezel-less display, which is very high quality. You get that really cool shark fin pop-up camera, which is really quick to pop up and down. The still images you get out of it are really good too. And I personally like Color OS, some people don't. It's very personal, but I think it's simple and easy to use. And also the haptics in the Oppo Reno are very good. They're the same as you get in the OnePlus 7 Pro, and also you get dual stereo speakers, which just give a much better experience for the phone when you're listening to music, watching videos, or playing games. I actually compared the OnePlus 7 Pro and the Oppo Reno 10x zoom edition. They are very similar phones. The OnePlus 7 Pro focuses on the screen, whereas the Oppo Reno focuses on the camera. But other than that, you're getting two very high-class phones. But it never really gets mentioned because the Huawei takes the plaudits for the camera, the OnePlus 7 Pro for gaming and the screen, and the Redmi K20 or even the Xiaomi Mi 9 for value. So that phone sits somewhere in the middle, doesn't get talked about a lot, but if you had that phone, I'm sure you'd be very happy with it overall. All right, that's my 5 top phones in each category for the first half of 2019. I'd love to know what yours are. Please send me a comment and tell me what you think the best phones in each category are. See if they're similar to mine or different. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.
Blow, make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's going